I have absolutely nothing witty to say, so I'll just say this. Get ready for a morning filled with poop jokes, dragons, big black cocks, German crossbow murders, Brazilian fart porn, and more. A fresh episode of the Savage Sacktap starts now.
You're listening to the Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Oh my god, that was fucking tremendous. Hold on a second. Let me kill that for a sec so the fucking ads don't bleed through. Wow. You know what? You know what I like about Brazilian fart porn? It is exactly what it says it is. It is literally it's just chicks farting in each other's faces, and it's fucking hilarious. I have no idea who, if anyone, jerks off to it, or if it's just like a gag category or what. But it is a thing that is out there. There is Brazilian fucking fart porn running around your internet. Fantastic. What a way to start the show this week. Mike Montone, Savage Sacktap. We are back in the Jersey City groove here, motherfuckers. How about it? I was, as you know, I did the show, what did I do it? I did it like Wednesday or like Tuesday night last week, because I had the twink got married down in Florida last Friday, so we had that. I flew down Wednesday night with my sister and her boyfriend. Let me tell you something. That Newark Terminal A is an absolute shithole. You're at the carpet at TSA. It reeks of just stinky feet. Like, it's terrible. Like, this is a major airport. Like, this is like celebrities going to New York City fly into here. Think of Newark Airport as like LAX. Like, it should be like the fucking cream of the crop of airports. And I'm going to TSA, and it just reeks of fucking foot cheese, like emanating. And you're in. It's not one of those big like TSA things where you go on the weavy line. It's like you walk down this long hallway, and the entire thing is carpet, and that carpet just reeks of stinky feet. It's just awful. And the fucking bathroom there is like worse than Penn Station, which again, I don't know if you're not a New York guy, you might not know what fucking Penn Station's bathrooms are like, but Penn Station's bathrooms are pretty much homeless guys using either their cocks or hypodermic needles to give each other hepatitis. I'm amazed that when I went to the bathroom to take a piss at Newark's Terminal A, that there were no homeless men having sex in there. I was stunned. Usually, or like Newark Penn Station, where you get just like a homeless guy sitting in a pile of his own shit, or fucking the Hoboken. I love the Hoboken Terminal bathroom. Might actually be my favorite, where homeless guys use the hand dryer to dry out their balls and anuses after doing a fucking a sponge bath in the middle of the bathroom. That I fuck. Oh, it's quite an area I live in. Oh, just fantastic. The good thing is, though, I did manage to once again get my own booze on board the flight, and for those who don't do this, I highly recommend it. I'm a big airplane drinker because there's just absolutely nothing else to do up there. Just get fucked up and listen to a podcast or some tunes or something like that, and fart your fucking asshole off. But what you do is you get those little shooter-sized bottles at the liquor store. I buy like 10, so that way you have 5 for the way there, 5 for the way back, and it costs you literally like $10 to drink on 2 flights and get decently buzzed. You know, have a nice 5 drinks over the course of a 2.5 hour flight. You're feeling pretty fucking good, especially you throw one down at the terminal. I like to have one before I leave the house too. I also get a little baked. You should be always. I like to always be a little woozy when I'm flying in case I have to engage in hand-to-hand combat with a terrorist at 30,000 feet. I want to be absolutely fucking fearless. But yeah, what you just take those, and TSA won't stop you. They don't give a shit because they're less than 3 ounces. I couldn't bring my aloe vera through on the way home from Florida after a day in the fucking sun. I just wanted to lube up, but I was able to sneak 10 little bottles of booze past TSA. That's fucking brilliant. And then you either get like an orange juice at the Hudson newsstand they got there, or if you're a very patient person, which I don't fucking do this, I try to buy a drink and bring it on so I can start going as soon as I sit down. You can just wait till the drink service comes out, and I'll if I run out of my terminal purchased OJ, then I'll ask for like an orange juice and a club soda, and I sit there drinking vodka clubs with juice fucking for 2.5 hours for like $2 a drink versus the fucking criminal. It's like $15 a beer on the fucking airplane. No wonder Bin Laden fucking had them crash a bunch of those into fucking buildings. Those prices piss me off too. I get it. But anyway, stinky fucking terminal feet aside, everything else was very good over the weekend. There were some very busty bartenders walking around the place where they had the rehearsal dinner. It's this like little tiki bar on the Intercoastal Waterway in West Palm, and apparently it's actually where Ivanka had her 21st birthday. I'm sorry I wasn't there for that. I would love to see that broad getting fucking loose, having her friends do fucking jello shots out of her belly button. Yeah, it's a good time. She probably had like a nice high skirt on. Fucking thong riding through her ass crack. How does Jared Kushner fuck that chick? There's no way Kushner's given her any kind of quality pipe. The last person I think anyone... Mike Pence probably fucks better than Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, I can tell you, does not fuck. If there's anyone I've ever looked at on the planet and said, yeah, there's no that fucking Lindsey Graham probably gives a better deep dicking than Jared Kushner. What a little bitch boy. Anyway, why am I mentioning the rehearsal dinner? Because I fucking we got out of the Uber, and this fucking I hate enthusiastic employees. Like, you ever go to a clothing store or something, or just any store really, and they come up and they ask you, can I help you with that? Oh, can I help you with anything today? Do you need some assistance? Can I help you? Anything I can do for you today? I cannot fucking stand that shit. I'll leave a store if an employee tries to be too helpful. Like, it's the last thing that I want to do is deal with your offer of assistance. Like, fuck off, dude. But anyway, we get out of the Uber. I'm with my parents and the mother of my, at the time, the mother of my brother's fiance, now the mother of my sister-in-law. And we step out of the Uber, and there's like a band shell set up, and there's some fucking band getting set up. I guess there was going to be a big performance in the park. And this fucking guy, like, outside trying to wave people into this bar yells, have a beer before you go to the concert? First of all, fuck you. If I wanted to have a beer, I'd be walking into your bar. Don't try to assist me. Again, I reject your offer of welcome and assistance, even when it involves alcohol. And secondly, who is this fucking guy looking at me saying, yeah, this guy looks like his night involves going to a concert in the park, a local community concert in West Palm Beach with 360-year-olds. What, he thought that was my night. Like, he looked at me, his assessment of me getting out of that fucking vehicle, and there were like chicks around too, so it's doubly embarrassing, was that that's how I spend my free time. And not that I don't love my parents, and I guess that she's my aunt-in-law is a great woman too. But do I look like that? You know, that's the best I could do as far as social plans go. Was going to a concert in the park with 360-year-olds. That was it. I can't get a fucking match on Tinder. I had no friends to go to trivia night. No fucking bowling league. That was it. That was the lowest. It wouldn't even stay home watching binge watching Netflix with a pint of Ben and Jerry's. No. Had to get out with the AARP crowd. The wedding was fantastic though. Absolute banger. They held it in the courtyard of like this cocaine mansion. It was great. It looked like the kind of place where, if you've ever, you've seen Blow or something like that, or these movies about the cartel leaders, when these guys get called to go see the boss, it looks like the kind of place where like a very stern older Hispanic man would sit around smoking cigars and drinking strong coffee before like executing his enemies in front of like a perfect white wall, just leaving like a big blood splatter on the wall, and then say, "You'll see, Mr. Gutierrez, this is how we treat people we can't trust. So are you a man I can trust, Senor Gutierrez?" Like some shit like that. "We're giving you a lot of our money and a lot of cocaine. We must be able to trust you, Senor. Otherwise, you see what will happen." Yeah, they don't, those cartel leaders don't fuck around. But the police were actually called to the wedding. I guess apparently there was a report that there was a podcast host there who was dressed a little too sexily. They had to come cool things down. No, actually it was a noise complaint from across the street, and they just said to keep it down a little bit, and then they left. Anyway, we checked out the Hilton the next day. They had a little house music pool party, which is always something I enjoy. It proved my theory that 50% of people in South Florida look like they could do porn, and the other half are elderly New York Jews. But the scene around the pool was tremendous. It was tattoos, thong bikinis, big asses, big titties, big muscles. It almost to the point of parody, where towards the end of the afternoon we were sitting around, and this black gentleman sits down at the end of the pool, and he's wearing like the chubby style shorts, and from like 50 yards away I could see that this motherfucker had just a huge bulging cock, and then this white chick with a thick fat ass sits down right next to him. Like she was the absolute definition of a pog. If you don't know what a pog is, it's a fat-assed white girl. But yeah, a pog sitting next to a well-hung, muscular black gentleman. I mean, it was like something out of the Brazzers house or Blacked.com, or whatever name your big cock, big ass fuck vid of choice. But yeah, very impressive stuff, and glad to have my expert scientific theory proven. I got back, Monday was my first day, but I always get delayed coming home from Florida for some reason, an hour delay, so I got a shit night of sleep because I had to watch Game of Thrones as soon as I got back. I'm not fucking waiting for your Twitter spoilers, motherfuckers. But so I fucking crammed a pizza down while I was watching Game of Thrones, and obviously that meant I had to take a huge Monday shit at the office, and I got stuck next to the worst, grossest sounding, multiple he was courtesy flushing like as soon as he got down. I mean, it was horrible. Multi-flush, multi-wipe shitter. I could hear when he got, like, he'd get up to wipe and then go back to shitting. Like, it was impressive how disgusting this performance was. When he'd go to wipe, I could hear the wetness, like the toilet paper just sliding. It was like, you ever go after school, you go to get your books, like maybe after practice, or maybe you forgot once you came back at 5-6 o'clock, and you're in the hallway, and the janitor has the big the big slop bucket and that big fucking mop, like the big string mop, and he's taking the mop and dipping it in the slop bucket and then running it across the floor. That's what the sound of this guy's ass wiping sounded like through the fucking stall. Like, I could hear it in the other stall. Absolutely disgusting. There's no way he got it all cleaned up. Like, you'd had to use all the fucking toilet paper in the building, and you would have been there all day. So this guy, 100% chance, this guy went back to his desk with just poo smeared all over his crack. I do not understand how anyone could have effectively gotten that cleaned up. Just horrible stuff. I myself got a bad wipe because of it. I was so disgusted. I don't like to face anyone after I step out of the stall at work. I don't like people to know that I'm taking a shit at work. So I wound up getting a terrible wipe because, like, I wanted to get out of there. I could not look this guy in the fucking eye if I saw him outside that stall. I didn't want to know who it was. I wanted nothing to do with it. It was that offensive. Just really terrible shit. Very, very sad. I do have a quick a weekly Game of Thrones update. I don't want to focus on well, I guess technically I am focusing on a lot of deaths because I'm talking about Daenerys' little freak out. But yeah, these nut jobs on the internet are acting like Hillary lost the fucking election all over again. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Well, to tell you the truth, Dany torching King's Landing makes her a lot like the crooked Hillary. Anyway, here we go. I got this article. Game of Thrones final season draws backlash over portrayal of female characters. Oh boy. Industry veterans and TV critics react sharply to HBO drama's Daenerys twist. Not a twist, motherfuckers. Daenerys Targaryen has won the Iron Throne. On paper, it's about as happy an ending as Game of Thrones fans could possibly muster, but the surface details leave out all the fire, blood, and character assassinations along the way. Yeah, so if where was I? They had, oh yeah, I love this line. Well, Cersei was the only one of the two queens to actually lose her life. Many Game of Thrones viewers see Daenerys' acts as nothing short of character assassination, laying blame for the treatment of the Dragon Queen, Cersei, and the series' other powerful women at the feet of creators David Benioff and Dan Weiss. Criticism regarding Daenerys' actions in The Bells follows recent backlash for the season 8's fourth episode, The Last of the Starks, in which Missandei, one of the few persons of color on the series, was brutally beheaded in order to fuel the latest destructive arc. Here's the fucking thing. Well, I'll explain what happened. If you didn't watch, I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of this for you. But basically, and if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, I'll give you this will be perfect because I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what goes down. So there's this hot little blonde chick who rides around on dragons. Her name's Daenerys, Khaleesi, whatever, Dany, whatever the fuck you want to call her. She's got a million fucking names. And for her entire thing through the entire series has been that she is like the rightful queen of this land, and she's been fighting all the way from another continent to get there, and she's freed slaves, and she's done what all these perceived goods. She's sort of a benevolent dictator as long as you stay on her good side, and she uses her dragon to do what she sees as serving the greater good. And she's become like this internet feminist hero because she's a boss girl or a boss lady, or a boss bitch, whatever these stupid little buzzy catchy fucking nouveau feminist phrases are that they use to make themselves feel good about not being as cool as straight white males. But anyway, in the latest episode, and she's been becoming more and more of a cunt as the seasons have gone on, which apparently these people didn't notice. But in the latest episode, she just wastes an entire city with her dragons, and people are fucking pissed because now it's out there that she's a fucking horrible bitch of a person. And before that, she was like their fucking savior, and they thought she was gonna win the whole thing, and it was gonna be this happily ever after. If you think this story has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. But they included some tweets from holy shit, this is a lot of tweets. I'm gonna read through some of these jerk off tweets, and then I'll explain why these people are nuts. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss just ruined 30 years of George R.R. Martin's work in 90 minutes. They are obviously sexist fucks, and obviously nothing without George R.R. Martin. There was no motivation for Daenerys to lay King's Landing low after a lifetime of her saving innocence. Dummy. Weird how a show with no female writers or directors didn't do justice to their female leads. Okay. Hey, HBO, you got more... Stupid. I'm not even gonna dignify that because it involves a Starbucks joke, and I don't want to fucking get that Ew. I hate internet jerk off snark. If you go back right now and watch the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, Dany turning insane makes no sense. She faced so much hardship and held her own. The idea that she'd go nuts, whatever the fuck that means, 20 seconds before winning everything is question marks. Let women write your fantasy TV. Okay. Here's the thing. So again, if you don't know the story, this chick has been fighting all the way from another country to come over here. But I'm gonna hit you with a few like plot points about this chick. Her father was known as the Mad King. This guy he literally wanted to torch the city that she winds up torching. Her father wanted to torch, so she's fulfilling a family destiny. And the Mad King wasn't always mad. People liked him in the beginning, just like his fucking dragon riding daughter. But he slowly became more isolated and lost his mind slowly, just like his dragon-riding daughter, and he would do things like burn his enemies alive and laugh at them, just like his dragon-riding daughter. And he would act in a way, again, as sort of this magnanimous... Well, he's a king, right? So he's the benevolent fucking monarch, unless you did something that he viewed as out of line, and then he felt he was justified in burning you to death. Just like his daughter, she's been doing this the entire way. She has been torching motherfuckers since the dragons fucking went through puberty. All she does is torch people, and it's based on her own moral code, not necessarily any kind of law or anything like that. And what they say about her family, the Targaryens, is that when a Targaryen becomes alone and isolated, they tend to lose their minds and do exactly what she did. There's a character in the show known as, well, not anymore because he's fucking dead, but known as the Kingslayer, who he killed her father because he was going to burn the entire fucking city. So there is a long backstory here that leads up to her torching the city. It felt forced a little quickly. I felt the entire season, the pacing of the season has been a tad forced. I would have drawn it out a little bit more, but the act of her torching fucking King's Landing is perfectly reasonable. Anyone who's mad about that is just looking for a reason to complain on the fucking internet and be. It's like now, it's like one of those. It's like become cool to like hipstery to complain about the way they're doing this, because now you can use terms like showrunner and story arc. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, those words were not in your vocabulary until you read like a fucking Variety article about it while you were taking a shit the morning after the show, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tweet the exact same fucking thing now to be an internet asshole. But look, here's the thing is, she was warned that this could happen. She had people warning her the entire time. They're like, look, this thing like runs in your bloodline. Like, you really gotta be careful here, because if you just start burning people, it's gonna go, and the domino effect. It's only gonna get worse and worse and worse until you're burning an entire city of innocent people, and that's what she did. Ignored all warnings. If you go back, people were pulling scenes, and they were like, hey, they warned this bitch not to do this. They said it was getting out of control. This is not a surprise. It's not a surprise that the lady who goes around burning things burnt things. Like, that's no fucking shit. The other thing, this whole thing about a woman's this, that. Have you seen how brutally men are just destroyed and fucking, like, impaled? They talk about having, like, their cocks cut off and being skinned alive, and they literally cut a guy's dick off. If they performed a fucking mastectomy or a clitoral circumcision in this fucking show, do you realize how ballistic people would be going? But no, you chop a guy's fucking cock off, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, they would do that to you in the fucking Middle Ages. That's what happened. But part of equality means, you feminist nut jobs, that once you're on the same level as men, you get treated the same as men. So if men are getting violently murdered in our medieval fantasy show, then women get to get violently murdered in the medieval fantasy show. Like, that is, if a man can go from being a good guy to being an asshole in the medieval fantasy show, a woman can go from being a good girl to being a cunt in the medieval fantasy show. Like, that's equality. It's not, lifting them all up. And, like, what did you think? That it was just going to be everyone on the show with a fucking vagina and maybe Varys were just gonna be, like, walking around holding hands and singing songs in Kingsley, we're all friends now, straight white men are cancelled, King's Landing. Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna fucking happen? Like, it's Game of Thrones. They're all bloodthirsty cutthroats looking to fucking kill each other and seize power. That's the entire thing. Assume everyone on this show has buried deep within them some kind of asshole. So if you want your women to be equal, then they have to be assholes too. The other thing about that is that there is not a dearth of heroic women in this show. A fucking Brienne of Tarth is a fucking bad bitch. Arya Stark, Arya Stark killed the fucking Night King. I hope I spoiled that for someone. If that's the case, then you're fucking way beyond on this. Fucking Sansa has been playing manipulative political games, putting her family in position and doing out fucking dueling Peter Baelish and shit. Like, she out-dueled the ultimate fucking crafty motherfucker. Like, I don't understand where you're not finding powerful, strong women in this show. Like, if you're in this show, there's a good chance you're gonna either die or do something horrible. That's just the nature of the fucking beast. There are examples of very, very powerful female characters in this show. So if you're making these complaints about the show, then you're watching with fucking blinders on purpose so you can be a dickhead on the internet. If I can sum up my point, succinctly. I told you. What I will tell you now is that we have a bunch of gay shit coming up to talk about. But first, a little social media plug for you. If you're watching this right now, obviously you are doing so on Facebook.com/The Savage Crew. You can also check me out on Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler, and the podcast, the audio version where you can get, every episode that we have ever done is up at thesavagecrew.libsyn, libsyn.com. I also keep it pinned to the top of the Facebook page, so you can check it out there. What do we got? Oh, all sorts of gay shit coming up here. Let me get the tablet open. I'm gonna try to rifle through these stories real quick. Come on, boo, motherfucker. Because I realized it's 5:41 already. I do have to be in the shower at some point. I love this. British grocery store slammed for selling gay sandwich in rainbow packaging. What is a gay sandwich? I hear gay sandwich and I think of some guy on all fours taking one in the mouth and one in the pooper, but let's find out what a real gay sandwich is. Marks and Spencer. That literally sounds like the name of the gay couple that just moved in next door. Honey, what are we doing tonight? Oh, dear, we're having dinner with Marks and Spencer. They're the new gay couple that moved to the neighborhood. They brought the cake by yesterday. Oh, the pineapple cake. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. What time are appetizers coming out? I'll make sure I'm ready. They're drawing anyway. What a British name for a supermarket. Marks and Spencer is drawing criticism after selling a gay sandwich to celebrate Pride 2019. Yeah, what is it? The sandwich. It's a BLT with guacamole. They're calling it the LGBT, and it comes in a rainbow-colored container. That is pretty gay. I thought maybe the gay sandwich, like you go over to the sandwich aisle where they have like the pre-made sitting in the little refrigerator, and it's got headphones on and techno music is coming out, and it's wearing a mesh tank top and a pair of really, really short cut-off jean shorts. If you bite in, you actually test positive for HIV for like an hour after eating it. You don't actually get infected. It's just part of the fun. This is a tweet that shows a picture of the shame on the good folks over at Marks and Spencer for turning our culture and identity into a sandwich, making an absolute mockery of LGBTQ people. See, this is the difference between the British and Americans. I'm going to tell you this. First of all, their angry tweets are so polite. Shame on the good folks over at If that was an American, they'd be like, we have to burn these cis-hetero white males to the fucking ground. And the other piece of this is, if it was America, the gay community would be thrilled. There is nothing Americans love more than having a sandwich named after them. I mean, that is, in America, the ultimate badge of honor is there's like visiting the White House after winning the championship, getting the key to the city, having a sandwich named after you. Those are the pinnacles of success in American life. Getting a sandwich named after you is actually a bigger deal than winning an Academy Award, in my opinion. Aaron Wright, an artistic director, posted a photo of the sandwich on Twitter with the caption, "Fuck off." Calling all LGBTs, he continued, get yourselves down to Marks and Spencer and help yourself to a free gay sandwich. No need to pay, babe. Just walk in and take this trash off the shelves. Not sure whether this offer applies to allies, too. So, you're just... that by the way was a much more American version of yeah, it must be an American expat living in England. Yeah, oh, you get to, because you don't like something, you get to go steal from a store is where we're at now. I like that we're just advocate. We can punch Nazis, so anyone we don't disagree with politically, they're a Nazi, so we can punch them, and now we can steal from places that sell products that we don't like. Okay, you're tracking. Oh, this is great. Wright tempered his reaction after learning that proceeds from the sandwich's sales would be going to two organizations, including one that offers assistance to homeless LGBTQ plus teens. Oh, that is fan-fucking-tastic. This is fucking just tremendous. I love it. I'm not even going to read the rest of the article because it's just people praising the sandwich. I love when these fucking social justice, holier than thou dickheads get it fucking served to them and they have to walk their shit back. Yeah, you fucks. You didn't even stop to wonder what was going on. Like, what did you think? It was like a symbol of fucking hate that they would put a product with a gay pride flag in their stores? I'm serious. I feel like in America, people would love this. People fucking, they go nuts when they're like, oh, such and such is celebrating pride. They're donating. Like, what kind of a fucking knee-jerk reaction asshole do you have to be mad about this fucking, now the gays are calling cultural appropriation? Do you realize 20 years ago how happy the fucking gay community would have been if they found out that people were going to openly appropriate their culture? I mean, they must hate Italians for the amount of time we spend lifting weights, listening to dance music, and picking out our clothing to wear when we go out at night. We never give them any credit. Fucking, this should be a big win for the gays. I have no idea why they decided to get so mad about that. Next gay ass shit. Arthur's Mr. Ratburn marries a man in latest season premiere of children's cartoon. First of all, I had no fucking clue that Arthur was still kicking around. I was an Arthur fucking gangster when I was in elementary school. We had to do some reading in second grade. You damn well know I was going to Arthur. I think I had to be told to stop doing Arthur stories because I had to read something other than Arthur. But the 22nd premiere of the PBS Kids show aired Monday and featured the strict cake-loving teacher's wedding to a chocolatier named Patrick, according to Inside Edition. Well, there are any number of fudge-packing jokes to make about that. And if I had written this episode, if I had read this in advance and taken diligent notes, I might have some at the ready, but I don't. I don't know. Does Mr. I guess we know who's packing the fudge in this relationship. Or his husband may be a chocolatier, but it's Mr. Ratburn who packs the fudge. Something along those lines. Feel free to make up your own and drop one in the comments section. Oh, it guest starred Jane Lynch as Mr. Ratburn's sister. That's fun. She's funny. I like her. Anyway, since it first aired in 1996, Arthur hasn't mentioned Mr. Ratburn's sexuality until, so it first hit TV in 96. So I'd been reading Arthur since second grade. So it's been 4 years. So I read the books before it was a TV show. As with Game of Thrones, once again I find myself ahead of the curve. The outlet also reported that Mr. Ratburn isn't the first openly gay character in the Arthur universe. Oh yeah, that's right. They have they have a cartoon rabbit and a friend of Arthur's. They meet children in Vermont whose mothers are lesbians. Although the word lesbian was never said. I like that they went to Vermont to find their lesbians. Like, it wasn't a hot pair of lipstick lesbians or like some fashionable fucking progressive New York City lesbians. They went with Vermont lesbians who they have big bushes, wear men's overalls and make their own cheddar. Probably some very rough hands in that household. Must be they like the ridges make it extra nice for fingering. The calluses from churning that Vermont cheddar. It's like a little extra clitoral stimulation. That's why I don't wear gloves when I deadlift, ladies. Come here. Now that Mr. Ratburn is gay, I can finally die. Well, wasn't he always gay? Mr. Ratburn being gay is my Game of Thrones finale. Oh, that's great. The only thing, and someone pointed this out on Twitter, is that the kids in his class all went to the gay wedding, which I feel like I'm friendly, having been working in New York City's gay and Jew-run media, that I'm friends with a great many gay people, and I don't know any of them that would want children at their fucking weddings. I can't imagine, I think. I could see them doing, sending out invites and look, it's not that we don't love the kids, but we're going for a bit of a more upscale thing, and we don't exactly want them there. The gays don't want fucking kids at their weddings. Even if they're like those, adoptive, adorable dad gays, they still don't fucking want kids at their weddings. When the gays get down to partying, they want to bust out the meth, the amyl nitrate, the assless chaps, and the butt fucking. They pop the champagne and aim the cork at my keister. That's the kind of wedding they want. They don't want fucking. They don't want their students there. Ugh. No one wants kids around, alright? Anyway, and in perhaps the gayest story of the week. This isn't actually a story, it's like a letter to Slate, and the title is just perfect. I think my husband masturbates with his best friend. How do I, bring this up? Here we go. And this Slate has a shitload of these. They got one... should I tell my coworker that everyone knows he used to do gay porn? This is just, we didn't circumcise my son, will girls reject him? No, I hear they like it. But anyway, last year, my husband of 2 years, together 6, and I were out to drinks with his childhood friend and the friend's fiancé. We're both straight couples. When we were several in, we were talking about losing our virginities, and his friend's fiancé made a comment along the lines of, well, you know what they used to do? I did not know what they used to do. It turns out they masturbated together as teenagers, which included giving each other a hand. Okay, so here's the thing. Your husband didn't just masturbate with friends. He actually jerked off his friend, which is actually... There are so many layers of weird to that. First, normal dudes don't jerk off together. You know why? Because I don't want to see my buddy's stupid face that he makes while he's rubbing one out, while I'm trying to get hard and jerk one out myself. That's not an enjoyable masturbatory experience. That in fact ruins the entire purpose of masturbating. Unless I'm trying to train myself to be able to ejaculate under the worst of circumstances, I'm probably not going to engage in an act of masturbation with my friends. In any case, she says, I was taken aback by this, but they all seemed to think it was hilarious, and my husband was embarrassed, so I shrugged it off. Teenagers do things. We didn't talk about it again. Teenagers do things. You know what my friends and I did when we were teenagers? Vandalism, underage drinking, prank phone calls, skipping class, sports, trying to finger girls. You know what we didn't do? We didn't jerk off together. And we certainly didn't help each other jerk off. Especially when you're a teenager. You don't need assistance jerking off. You're going to give yourself a far better hand job than your fucking buddy can. Recently, I was out with the fiancée for her bachelorette party. My husband was at the bachelor party the same night. Someone joked about them getting too friendly with the strippers, and the fiancé said they were more likely to get too friendly with each other. She then started telling the group that she knew my husband and her fiancé and at least one other guy from their friend group masturbated together into college and their 20s. We're all around 30. Jesus Christ. Now, if this was like a fucking, 70s sexual revolution, 60s, fucking love generation, I'd almost be like, okay, the Beatles all jerked off together, the guys from that time were kind of creepy, they had weirdo hair and sideburns and stuff. It's still not cool, but I'd kind of be like, alright, you were a creep back then, well, fucking whatever. Maybe you go to swingers parties or some shit. These guys are my age. Like, we were in college at the same time. No one in the early 2000s was getting together to whack off. That wasn't the thing. It's not like it was like a trend or people were into it. These guys are just guys who this is apparently just a big friend group. And I don't even know how you sniff that out. Does you just take it out and start whacking? Or do you like, so, I heard Bill told me the wildest thing the other day. It says him and his friends get together to jerk off. You guys ever try that? No, yeah, I wouldn't either. Like, the only time you ever heard of that was like, maybe like, like you're making fun of a fraternity. You're like, oh yeah, they jerk off on a cookie and then the last one to come has to eat it. You hear like the urban legends about that, and even those are like, you kind of know that they're probably half bullshit because guys would be just walking out of the fucking frat house. Like, no one would go through that to be in a fucking a club. That would be that fucking odd initiation. She said she suspected they still do it now sometimes, but she doesn't care because it's just jerking off. For the record, if you're married or dating a chick and you find out that she gets together with her friends and they all like rub pussies together, entirely different scenario and totally fucking awesome. The chicks have like sex toy parties where they buy them and shit, so I'm assuming a fair bit of vibratory play comes up. I did some Googling that suggested this is a fetish for some guys who are with women. Is it? Is there a way I can bring this up with my husband without accusing him of cheating? If he's hiding a major part of his, yeah, she should fuck. Yeah, I kind of worry about what else he could be hiding. Yeah, fucking an elevated white blood cell count. Dear Five Knuckle Shuffle. It does seem like more straight identified guys are getting into mutual masturbation with the other so-called straight. No, it doesn't. This is not. A recent GQ trend piece explored the phenomenon of straight masturbation clubs, and I've seen online ads for such clubs that specifically target straight guys and more or less rebuke gay ones. I put straight in quotes because sitting around dicks out polishing a penis that does not belong to you sounds pretty far left of strictly hetero to be spot on. But it's also increasingly clear that there's infinite space in the gray area between a Kinsey 0 and a 6. It is therefore conceivable that there are guys out there who mostly have sex with women but enjoy the male bonding that comes with sitting around and busting some nuts with other men. I don't... Where is the fucking male bonding that comes from that? Again, I don't want to see my buddy's stupid... And there's the one guy in the room who's having a real hard time getting one out. He's like arching his hips and really leaning into it because his elbow is no longer even moving. It's all coming from shoulder. He's doing one of those, when you've just been jerking entirely too much and you actually have to take one hand to move you're all boned up, but it just won't come. Like, fucking come hell or high water, I'm leaving a fucking flood on my belly. Just absolutely absurd. As you may have noticed, spending time with naked men is fun. No, we're repulsive. We have fucking bushy, hairy assholes, and penises are weird looking. I don't know what's, fun about this. The way I'm personally inclined to think about this goes something like, he could be sitting around with his buddies playing poker and holding cigars, or they could be sitting around watching porn and holding their dicks. It's all time passing leisure. Not really. They're they're coming all over each other, is what it sounds like. If he's not depleting himself of a sex drive from whacking too much or having his dick stripped raw by his buddy's calloused workout hands, what's the difference? You naturally are under no obligation to take such a laid-back stance. It's perfectly reasonable to expect your husband to keep his hands on his own controller and not be playing with another guy's joystick. Yeah. The fiance of your husband's potential jerk buddy is a real piece of work, though, isn't she? She's probably making things more difficult by being so loose-lipped about your husband's potential predilection. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you'd rather know than... I don't know. Maybe you'd rather know than not, or maybe you don't want to know at all if your husband is jerking off with his pals. But, yeah, I saw that at work the other day. Well, I was definitely not working. I was just reading articles about guys who jerk off together, and I was like, this is hilarious. I have to pass it on to the boys. I do have some irrational outrage for you. We're gonna start with this okay thing. I'm a white nationalist now. At the fucking Cubs game. Chicago Cubs band fan who made seemingly offensive hand gesture on broadcast TV. It took place May 7th. The Cubs are playing the Marlins, and a guy in a Cubs sweatshirt is sitting behind the NBC Sports Chicago analyst Doug Glanville, who is speaking on camera, and he makes the upside down. You know what I'm talking about, the fucking punch symbol, which is construed by many as a white supremacist symbol, except it's fucking not. I want to see... Okay. Alright, this is good. I'm looking ahead of the article. It's not. It's not I'm going to, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that it is not a white... It's important that they say construed by many, because it's construed by idiots who fell for internet trolls as a white supremacist symbol. So the Cubs say that they concluded that this individual's actions violated the guest code of conduct, and they sent him a letter because they couldn't get him by phone, stating that he would not be permitted on the grounds of Wrigley Field or ticketed areas indefinitely. He added that he could be prosecuted for criminal trespass if he attempts to re-enter Wrigley Field. Theo Epstein, the Cubs president of baseball operations, says his actions were truly disgusting and it gave him shivers to watch. How fucking disingenuous is that? I think appropriately we've made clear how egregious and unacceptable that behavior is, and there's no place for it in our society, in baseball, and certainly no place at Wrigley Field. Kevin Cross, senior VP of NBC Sports, says it was reprehensible and that it did not represent the great Cubs fans of our city or those around the country. Let's see, Glanville, a former major leaguer, said he found out about the gesture at the end. I applaud the responsiveness of both the Chicago Cubs organization and NBC Sports in investigating this matter. They have reached out to me and are supportive of my role in the broadcast, continue to have a desire to uphold an inclusive environment. This is insane. The Anti-Defamation League. I love it. They tell you how absurd this is. And even they're wrong about their explanation. So the ADL says that while the hand gesture is usually associated with the word okay, members of the website 4chan created a hoax in 2017 that claimed the gesture represented the letters W and P for white power, hoping that the media and liberals would overreact by condemning a common image as white supremacist. They're telling you what it is, that it's not actually white supremacist, that it was made up to trick morons in the media and on social media into believing that it was white supremacist. They are acknowledging that this is not white supremacist, wasn't made by white supremacists. It was made by a bunch of teenagers who wanted to fuck with people like the ADL and NBC Sports, and are apparently doing so successfully that the ADL has come out and said that we are being trolled and fucked with, and we are now playing into the troll.
ADL officials said the gesture can still be used to mean okay and other contexts, including for the circle game, where participants attempt to trick others into looking at a similar gesture below one's waist, and as a symbol for the 3%er movement, a pro-guns. So they're acknowledging that it is not the thing that they're saying it is. Like, it's amazing. In one breath, they're saying, we acknowledge that this is not a white power symbol, that it's the punch game, or that it was a 4chan hoax, or it just means okay, or whatever. And in that same breath are saying, but because a bunch of idiots in the media and on Twitter were tricked into thinking that this is a white power symbol, we are now going to treat it as a white power symbol, thus giving it more power to harm and offend the sensibilities of oppressed persons. I get, what's the fucking goal here? Is just to kick a guy. It's almost like the guy's getting banned from Wrigley Field for pointing out how morons in the media got trolled by a bunch of assholes on 4chan, is what it sounds like. That's what I'm getting from this. Oh, tell me my fucking laptop froze. Shit. That's not good. Oh, boy. Whoops. I guess we're still live streaming, though. I don't know how the fuck this is gonna work. I think I'm gonna have to fucking... This is not good. Not good. Well, at least the stream's still up. I'll get the, pull the audio from there, I guess. That's gonna be a fucking pain in the ass. That'll be fun. Anyway, boo! Let me see if I can turn this back on while I'm going. This has happened before. Anyway, what's this? Sailors instructed to clap like we're at a strip club for Mike Pence. Oh, yeah, this is fun. I'm gonna do this one very quick before I get into these German crossbow murders. U.S. sailors were instructed to clap like we're at a strip club to greet Vice President Mike Pence aboard the USS Harry S. Truman, according to a report. This is great. They had to release a fucking statement about... Somehow this got out. They don't even say how it got fucking leaked. I'm assuming some junior fucking sailor who's, you know, part of this douchebag generation that doesn't like this kind of stuff fucking complained, and the fucking the ship leadership had to issue a statement. The statement was inappropriate, and this issue is being addressed by the Truman's leadership, and I think it was the command master chief, and I think he actually wound up getting relieved for making the comment. If I'm not, here's the thing: if you've never been in the military, everyone in the military hangs out at strip clubs. I've been at fucking strip clubs, and I've seen the fucking chaplain walk in, just to make sure everyone's, you know, his guys are doing okay, I'm sure. But yeah, if you're in the military, the thing is, you hang out at fucking strip clubs. It's just what we do. I don't know, there's nothing I can tell you other than the military and going to strip club, it's fucking synonymous. The biggest prudes in the military will visit a strip club at some point in their fucking life. Like, that be it. Like, there's just literally nothing else I can say, but this is absurd. So the statement, clap like you're at a strip club, it should resonate with every sailor that was present at the time. Yeah, I have fucking preposterous, just absolutely ridiculous. The weakening, we are going to lose. Yeah, let me tell you something. You tell a bunch of Russian sailors to clap like you're at a strip club, a raucous round of applause. Putin probably goes to the strip club with Russian sailors, I would think. Yeah, absolutely fucking absurd. And then I'm going to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I am a tad distracted going through this final segment, final piece of the show here, because my computer is still attempting to restart itself after it just fucking committed suicide, and I'm just thinking of all the stupid finagling and extra work that I'm going to have to do to get the show up this week, and it's fucking annoying. But I did promise you German crossbow murders, so I do have to fill you in. And I don't even have that much commentary on this story. I just want to tell you about it because it's so fucking awesome. Man killed by crossbow in Germany led medieval cult. I feel like I could stop there and you'd just be like, now that I know about that, I'm thrilled. But let me tell you so much more. The man killed in a crossbow murder-suicide pact in Germany is believed to have led a cultish group devoted to medieval folklore and treated the women around him like slick. Talk about living the fucking dream. How fun would that be? Just dressing like it's the year fucking 1200, carrying around crossbows, fucking bitches. Yeah. Well, I guess it was fucking wenches back then, right? Oh, you fucking cocks. Is the fucking computer's like doing a fucking update. It just fucking crashed and decided to start doing a fucking update during the middle of a show. Fucking technology, you fucking cocksuckers. That was not a scheduled update. You fucking cunts. Anyway. The bodies of Torsten W. and 2 women were found in a hotel room in Bavaria on Saturday, alongside 3 crossbows. The deaths were linked to 2 more deaths in Germany on Monday. Torsten W. appeared to have controlled the women like an oppressive sect leader. He was found with a 33-year-old woman. They were found in bed, hand in hand, impaled with arrows from the modern crossbow. Wow. And then another woman, a 30-year-old woman, had been hit in the neck, and she was lying on the... What a fucking scene. The bodies were found by a roommate. Can you imagine? You're some fucking German broad with a big fat ass, and you're going around sweeping up rooms at this bed and breakfast. The fucking last thing that you expect to walk in on is 3 dead bodies with crossbow bolts in them. Oh, the computer's back. Let's see if I can get in. Sometimes the old recording will still be there when you get back in. So this is going to be very exciting. And the nice thing is I'll still be able to get to some porn after this. 2 wills were found in the room linked to Torsten W. and Kirsten E. This is so fucking bizarre. I know a lot of cults do suicide-y shit, but this is fucking over the top. I mean, it's a badass way to go out. Police are treating the case as a requested killing and suicide, suggesting Farina C. first shot the couple and then herself. How wild is that? Just having some bitch come over to kill you and your girlfriend with a crossbow because you want to die like a medieval savage? That is living on the edge. That is, you may disagree with his the decision to take your life, but man, talk about going out on your own terms. Since the discoveries, disturbing reports have emerged about Torsten W. They're saying he controlled women like a cult leader, physical force. Oh, okay. Investigators suspect they were all members of a kind of sex circle with a focus on the Middle Ages. How do you have a sex? I'm kind of confused about that. You wear a plate of armor while you fuck, and you have no one shaves their pubes, and you give each other bubonic plague. I'm confused about this. The die of untreatable syphilis. RTL also spoke with a couple who feared the 19-year-old woman found dead in Whittingham was their daughter, who said they had fallen under the spell. Wow. With another crossbow murder. That's fucking insane. Alright. Audacity is back. This is great. My computer's back up. I'm gonna relax here for a second before I do the little sign-off thing. What a fun little episode we had today. We talked about a guy's horrible wet shit. Of course, it's gonna take fucking forever to do this. All right, I don't have fucking patience for this. I'm going to just wrap up now, and I will pull the rest of the audio from the Facebook live stream. But what do I usually tell you at the end? Oh yeah, follow me on the social media, facebook.com/the Savage Crew. Oh yes, Recover Project, most definitely. How fucking silly. It says it's recovering the project. I hope so. We had a lot of fun. We talked about all sorts of things. We had some Brazilian fart porn going. Facebook.com/the Savage Crew is where you're watching this live stream. At Mike Montone on Twitter, at Gary_Moyler, MOYLER on Instagram, and the SavageCrew.libsyn, LIBSYN.com is where the audio podcast lives. I hope to have this one up relatively soon. It may take me a little bit longer, just because I'm gonna have to yank the audio from the Facebook video, so that'll probably take me a little extra effort. But I will have this up hopefully by like Friday night, Saturday morning. It may be a tad later than my usual Friday. But yeah, that's that. Have a lovely day, kiddos. I'll catch you later.